I'm sitting in a half lotus, so I've got my right shin and foot over top of my left thigh. You don't have to sit that way. If you want to, you can. If you feel more comfortable in a typical cross-legged position, that's absolutely fine. Just a couple of options for you. And we're going to start with a seated cat-cow, just to warm up the spine and the torso a little bit. So on the inhale, we're going to bring have our hands on our knees. Using the hands as a bit of leverage, we're going to pull the chest forward and look up at the sky, inhaling. And on the exhale, we're going to round the spine, curving the spine behind us and bringing chin to chest, and keeping our hands on our knees so that we don't fall backwards. And inhaling, seated cow, rounding the chest forward, looking up at the sky, broad across the collarbones, and using your hands to pull back a little bit to open the chest. And exhale, round the spine, curving the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, forward, seated cow. And exhale, seated cat. Maybe one more time, just for fun. Seated cow, looking up at the sky, opening the chest. And exhale, seated cat. Stretching, rounding the back, stretching the back of the neck, and coming to a neutral seat. Let's now take our left hand and place it gently beside us. And then tipping the right ear to right shoulder for a bit of a neck stretch on the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right hand beside us, left ear to left shoulder. Relaxing the right shoulder down. Inhale, center. Exhale, tip right, bringing that left shoulder down. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. And this time, if you want to, you can float the right hand up. So it's just on the top left side of the head. And gently encourage the right ear to the right shoulder. And if you prefer not to have the weight of the hand, by all means, you don't need to do that, but it's an option. Just gently encourages the stretch a little bit more on the left. And then head to center and tip left, floating the left hand up to the right top part of the head to just gently guide the head down a little bit more to the left. And back to center. Let's bring the arms up and overhead, so biceps by ears, fingertips pointing towards the sky. Seated Urdhva is the pose. Clasping the hands together above your head and then flipping the palms to the sky and trying to keep the shoulders down and away from the ears while keeping your biceps close to the ears, which I know can sound like a tall order, but that's what we're aspiring to. You can stay here, or making sure your left hip is grounded, gently reaching to the right, arms in one unit, leaning towards the right, rolling the left shoulder back. Inhale to center. Exhale, left, grounding the right hip down. Rolling the right shoulder back and back to center. Exhale, right, grounding those hips. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Coming to center. And floating the hands down. Let's do Gomukhasana arms. So we're going to bring the right arm up and patting yourself in the middle of the back with your right hand. So right elbow to sky, taking the left arm and bringing the left arm behind your back. And what we're aspiring to here is we're aspiring to catch the fingertips of both hands together to meet in the middle of the back. Opening up the chest, opening up the underarm area, the tricep area. And you can stay here, or if you like, lengthening up through the spine on the inhale and exhaling, keeping the hips grounded, coming forward, long spine. And if you want, you can round down and relax. Or you can stay fully seated, that's okay too. If you took the bend, leading with your heart, coming back up to a seat, releasing the fingertips, shaking the arms out if you need to. This time bringing the left arm up, patting yourself on the middle of the back with the left hand, bringing the right arm behind you and bringing fingertips to yearn towards one another. If they don't capture one another, the fingertips, that's okay. The goal is to come in that general direction. Opens up the shoulders, opens up the chest, and we're all a work in progress. We'll get there eventually. Nice long spine, crown of the head to the sky. If you want to stay here, you can, or leading with the heart, hinging at the hips, nice long spine over the legs. And you can round down if you like and relax down. And breathe. And then leading with the heart, coming back up. Now, release and shake out. At this point, let's recross the legs, so in the opposite direction. I should have done that to pose before, but I forgot. But better late than never. It's always good to kind of balance out both sides of the body. Nice long spine. Check your position. Make sure that your spine is above your pelvis, crown of the head to the sky. Let's take our right hand and place it behind us. Left hand, bring it around and hook it on the back of the hand on the top of the right thigh. You're going to use that as leverage for the twist. So inhaling and lengthening the spine, crown of the head to the sky. Exhale and twist to the right. Looking over your shoulder or in the direction of over your shoulder. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. Inhale and lengthen one more time. Exhale and twist, looking over the shoulder. Nice and gentle, don't twist too hard. And coming back to center. Looking at our spinal alignment, crown to sky, spine over top of pelvis. Let's take our left hand and place it behind us. Right hand, the back of the hand being on the left lower thigh above the knee. Nice long spine, crown to sky on the inhale. Exhale and twist. Oh boy, left. Inhale and lengthen, crown to sky. Exhale and twist. Looking over that left shoulder. We're in that direction. Lengthen on the inhale. One more time. And exhale and twist. And coming back to center. Let's move into a tabletop position. So in tabletop, we'll make sure our wrists are underneath our shoulders and our hips are our knees are underneath our hips and our fingers are spread to create a nice stable base for ourselves. Let's take the right leg and bring it directly out to the side so that the foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Making sure that you're gluing the outer edge of the foot down onto the ground. And you can stay here, or if you want to, you can, making sure that your hips are over top of your knees, walk your hands forward to the front of the mat. For a nice stretch in the arms, the underarms, trying to create space for your neck. So trying to bring, not squishing the shoulders up near the ears. Pressing into the hands, pressing into the outer foot. And breathing. And then coming back up to tabletop. Left foot out to the side. Left foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Edge of the foot sealed down. Checking your alignment, hip over knee. And then walking the hands forward. Pressing hands into mat. Keeping head in line in between your biceps. And just checking to make sure that your hips haven't slid forward or too much back for that matter. Just nice and aligned with your knee. And breathe. And coming back to tabletop. Now placing the weight into the, shifting the weight into the the left hand. Taking the right hand and flipping it upside down so the palm is facing up and your fingertips are pointing towards your body. Then gently placing the wrist and the arm down, the wrist down on the mat. Now we want to make sure that the weight is primarily in our left arm. We just want a light little bit of weight into the right. And the intention here is to give the top of the right forearm a little bit of a stretch. Breathe into that. And then flip the palms so that you're back into tabletop. Shifting the weight into the right spread palm. Let's flip the left palm to sky, fingertips facing towards you. Ooh, feel more on this side. It's so funny. I always find it interesting how one side of the body can feel different so much from the other side. Keeping the weight in the right spread hand. Gently placing weight on the left top of the hand. And flipping it back over. Now, from a tabletop position, let's bring the right leg straight back behind us with the toes, balls of the feet and the toes placed on the mat for a nice calf stretch. So here we're going to make sure the toes are planted, the balls of the feet are planted, and we're going to reach into the right heel. You can either gradually reach into the right heel or you can kind of gently pulse it if that feels nice. Whatever feels good to you it's great by me. And breathe into that lovely stretch in the calf muscle. Whew, feels good. Now from here, let's pick up the right toes and place right toes and ball of feet into the left back corner. And from here, we'll make sure that we're pressed into our hands, that our arms are nice and straight and strong with a little bit of a micro bend in the elbow. We don't want the joint locked. And let's take a look over our left shoulder, take a peek at our right back heel, which is on the back left part of the mat for a nice right hip stretch. Breathing into that. Coming back to tabletop. Let's lengthen out the left leg straight behind us, balls of the feet on the mat behind us. And reaching into that heel on the left side, toes glued to the mat, nice stretch in the back of the calf. Ooh, feels good. Gently rocking it back and forth or gently applying pressure, and that's either one is great. Breathing into that great stretch, your back calf. Then let's pick up those toes and bring them over to the right back corner, making sure we're nice and strong in our arms and we're not collapsing in our chest. Let's take a look over the right shoulder at the left foot on the right back corner of the mat. I always find it interesting how something relatively simple can make you go, oh wow, there's that part of my body that I'm not normally aware of, but there it is. And back to tabletop. From here, let's do half Hanuman. So we'll bring our right foot straight out in front of us, heel planted on the mat, toes to the sky, hips in line with one another and parallel to the front of the mat. If it's intense, I mean, we're trying to bring the leg fairly straight with a little bit of a micro bend in. That's sort of the ultimate long-term goal. But if your knee has more than a micro bend in it, that's totally okay. We're all a work in progress. Toes to the sky. And you can stay here if you're happy here. You may have your fingertips tented so that, give you a little bit of elevation and leverage. If you're happy here, you can stay here, or you can lengthen through your spine and hinge at your hips and come on over your leg gently. Relaxing down. Breathing into that stretch in the back of your leg. Relaxing your head and your neck. Leading with your heart and coming back up. Let's bring the heel across to the left side of the mat with the toes of the right foot pointing towards the center. This is an IT band stretch, so you'll feel a interesting sensation probably across a band on the outside of your right leg. You can stay here, or again, lengthening through the spine. You can come over the leg on the exhale, or not, or you can just stay upright, and that's okay too, because it can be a bit of an intense stretch. And then leading with your heart and coming back up. Let's bring the leg straight out in front, back to half Hanuman. But we're not going to stay here. Let's roll forward onto the right foot, toes spread, into crescent lunge. So you'll feel the stretch probably in your front left hip flexor. Your left shin should be, and top of the left foot should be flat on the ground. And let's bring our arms up and overhead, so biceps are by the ears, fingertips towards the sky, creating a little space between your shoulders and your ears. Then on the exhale, bringing the elbows down, sort of at chest level for angel wings. Inhale up. Exhale down, angel wings. Nice stretch in the chest, opening up the chest, flexing the shoulder blades together. One more time, bring the hands up on the inhale. And on the exhale this time, let's bring the hands behind us, clasping the hands behind us so that your fists land somewhere near your butt. Arms nice and straight and strong. Opening up that chest. Then coming back up to crescent lunge. And let's go back to tabletop. Let's do the other side now. So bringing the left leg straight out in front, heel to the mat, left toes pointing skyward, left leg at least with a micro bend in it, if not, a little bit more if you need one, but we're trying to get the leg fairly long. And lengthening through our spine. And you can stay here if you like, or on the exhale, leading with the heart, coming down over the leg, hinging at the hips, breathing into the stretch in the back of your leg. And a nice long spine coming back up. Let's take the heel over to the right, toes pointed towards the center of the mat. Checking the alignment of your hips. You want to keep the left hip sort of beside the right hip. We don't want to be too far forward. And you can stay here and breathe. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can, on the exhale, come down over the leg. Breathing into the sensation in your left outer leg. And leading with the heart coming back up. Bringing the leg back to half Hanuman, so left leg straight out in front, heel on the mat. Let's roll it forward onto the left foot. Bringing the arms up overhead, fingertips to sky. Shoulders down and away from the ears. Let's do angel wings a couple more times. Oh, bringing those shoulder blades together, opening the chest up. Feels so good. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then bringing the hands behind you, clasped hands behind your back, straight, strong arms. Bringing the shoulders down and away from your ears. And coming back to tabletop. From here, let's do a lateral spinal stretch where we're going to bring right shoulder and right hip together, like a C shape with the right side of our body. Looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, pass through center. Exhale, C shape left, bringing left shoulder and left hip together, looking over the left shoulder so we're not collapsing down in our posture. Staying, keeping the integrity of the pose. Passing through center. C-shape right. Squeezing hip and shoulder together. Looking over that shoulder, passing through center. C-shape left. Passing through center. And one more time, C-shape right. Pass through center. And C-shape left. Very good. And back to a regular tabletop. We're going to do cat and cow, but we're going to do a little variation on cat and cow. So this time we're going to do a typical cow, and we're going to inhale, drop the belly down, pushing into the hands, opening up across the collarbones, looking up. And on the exhale, we're going to round the spine, pushing into our hands, rounding the spine, chin to chest. But then we're going to bring our toes together and come back down onto bringing our butt to our heels and tenting the fingertips. Coming up into cow, rounding the spine, looking up, opening across the collarbones, tailbone to sky, chest to sky. On the exhale, rounding the spine, tenting the fingertips, bringing the sitting bones onto the heels, elongating the arms and stretching through the underarms. One more time, cow. Inhale and cat. Exhale. And from here, let's push into our hands, open up our knees mat width apart, keeping the toes together, and lowering the head down, forehead down, bringing the arms straight out in front of us, fingertips spread, child's pose. In child's pose, you can either actively push into the hands or you can just be passive and relax and let the arms rest on the mat. Both are really nice. Now coming up and moving forward so that we lie on our belly on the mat. Everything face down on the mat. Let's take our right knee and bring it up towards the top of the mat. The right shin parallel to the side of the mat and looking right. You can either put your make your hands into a pillow. I kind of like that. It's a little comfy. Or you don't have to. You could rest directly on the mat, looking to the right. You can have your arms in a diamond shape if you like. I like that. That's kind of comfy. This is a half frog pose, and if you want a little bit more of a stretch in your inner thigh, you can bring the knee up a little bit more towards the top of the mat. If you'd like a little less of a stretch in your thigh, you can bring the knee down a little bit, adjusting to what feels good for you. And now pushing, if you like, into your right hand and lifting up, bring the left hand, left arm across your chest, all across your chest, all across your body, with your ending up with your left palm to sky, and then lowering everything down. And this is a thread the needle in half frog pose. Nice stretch across the back, left shoulder. You can stay here, or if you're so inclined, you can bring the right arm behind your back, placing the back of your right hand near your left hip. We call that taking the bind in yoga. So you can take the bind or not take the bind, either is totally okay. And if you took the bind, it's time to unwind, and let's press into our hand and come back laying on our belly. So bringing the legs down behind us and laying directly on our belly. Let's bring the left knee up towards the top of the mat, left shin parallel to the side of the mat, half frog other side, looking to the left, making a pillow with your hands or not. If you'd like, you can stay here or pushing your left hand straight forward in the direction of the top of your mat, pushing into the hand to elevate your underarm, and then bringing your right arm across your chest, palm up to sky, and lowering everything down. Thread the needle other side. And you can be here, or you can take the bind by bringing the left arm, wrapping it around your back, and bringing the left top of your hand in contact with your right hip. Unwinding the arm if you took the bind, placing your left hand onto the mat and pushing yourself up and then back onto the mat. Belly face down, belly down. Lifting up a little bit to place your elbows underneath your shoulders and bringing your forearms straight out in front with your hands, palms spread. We're going to move into Sphinx pose. And to move into Sphinx pose, we're going to almost pull our chest forward and up to minimize any compression in our lower back. And we're going to keep our gaze, gentle gaze, in between our hands. So we're not going to look too far up. We don't want to crank our neck in any strange direction. We're going to place our gaze in between our hands and open up across the collarbones and breathe. Relax the face. Maybe envisioning the Sphinx in Egypt and how calm and serene it looks. Kind of channeling that. And gently lower back down. Bringing the arms alongside your body. let's place our pelvis into the mat, gently pushing it into the mat. And then pointing the toes, elevating the legs up into half locust. So engaging your glutes, pelvis into the mat, lifting the legs up, pointing the toes, back and up behind you. Arms by your side with the tops of your hands on the mat. Gently lower down with control. Take a moment now to breathe. And if you'd like, we can once again concentrate the contact of your pelvis into the mat. And lifting up the legs once more, pointing the toes behind you. And if you want to stay here, you can stay here, or you can lift the chest up, peel the chest off the mat, rolling the shoulders back and elevating the arms so that they're alongside your body and your fingertips are actively pointing towards the back of your mat. Full locust pose. Just looking a little up at the top of your mat, so just a little bit before, ahead of you, but not like super far ahead of you. You want the neck to be a nice extension of your spine here. And lower down gently with control. Placing your hands on the mat, pushing up and back into a child's pose. So knees mat width apart, toes together, bringing the sitting bones on top of the heels, arms extending forward. Let's come back up to tabletop. And walking your hands just a little bit forward. Let's bring right knee to right wrist. And then bringing your hips down into the mat. Bringing your left leg nice and long behind you, top of the foot pressed up against the mat. Left toes pointing back. Now, if you have a pillow, and if you want to slide that pillow under your right hip, that's an option for you if you think that will make it more comfortable. Otherwise, you can perch onto your fingertips and focus on attempting to position yourself in the center of the pelvis. You don't want to be rolling off to the right. You want to be in the center of your pelvis. And elongating your spine nice and long up through your chest, up through your heart, almost raising your heart to the sky, towards the sky, and then looking up. This is pigeon pose. You can stay here, or walking your hands forward. You can come forward onto your hands. You can come forward onto your forearms, or you can come all the way down. And if you have that pillow and you want to put the pillows under your forehead, if that helps you out too, that's an option as well. But really trying to relax and breathe into this pose. Pigeon pose is a lovely practice, or a lovely pose to practice letting go, relaxing and letting go into the pose, breathing. Of course, if anything hurts, we back out. We can always go into child's pose at any point in time. It's a nice recovery pose. Breathing and relaxing. And then taking the hands and pushing yourself back up and back to tabletop. And now let's walk the hands forward again. And this time bringing the left knee in line with left wrist, and just gently laying and encouraging the right leg long behind you. Concentrating on being in the center of our pelvis. You may want to tense your fingertips and yearn your chest upward towards the sky, looking up, lengthening out your lower back. And then looking down, you can walk your hands forward a little. Move on to your forearms, or relaxing all the way down. trying to breathe into any tightness or tension that you may feel. And sometimes I find that a funny phrase, like, you know, we can't literally breathe into it, but as we're breathing, just focusing on that, any tightness or tension, and seeing if you can consciously relax it a little bit. Sort of like at the beginning when we were going through our body scan and consciously relaxing the various parts of our body, that can come in handy for poses like this. Might be a little more challenging. And then pressing into your hands and coming back up to tabletop. Let's come down onto a seat and bring the legs out straight in front of you, sitting on your sitting bones, making sure you can feel them. Don't necessarily move any skin away, like we don't want to be moving our butt around to feel our sitting bones, but we just want to make sure that we feel rooted. There we go. And now lengthening up through your spine, crown to sky. You can stay here or hinging at the hips, nice long spine coming over the legs, and then relaxing down. Keeping the feet flexed, toes to sky. This is staff pose. That feels good on the back today. Oof. Breathing into the stretch in your legs and your back. And then leading with your heart and coming back up. Let's try seated star. So in seated star, we're going to bring our feet together so that the heels are touching in the center of the mat, and the balls of the feet and the toes are in the center of the mat touching, and our legs kind of look like a star. And nice and long through the spine, crown to sky, shoulders down and away from our ears. Feeling that, just taking a moment to feel the beautiful length of your spine and the strength of your back. And then you can stay here, or if you'd like to, hinging at the hips on the exhale, leaning forward over and relaxing. You can relax down, you can be on your hands and come partially down, or come further down if that's accessible for you. Wherever you stop is great, not a competition at all. Just seeing what you can do today. And then leading with the heart and coming back up. Let's place the feet flat on the mat and bring our hands behind us so that the wrists are under the shoulders and our fingertips are pointed towards the front of the mat. And then pushing into our feet, lifting up the hips, hips to sky, reverse tabletop. So bringing that pelvis up to the ceiling, pushing into the hands, pushing into the feet. You can relax your neck back, or if that's a little much, I find looking forward, like lifting the neck up and looking forward is a totally good option. And then gently lowering the hips down and lowering onto the mat, all the way down onto your back. From here, let's bring our knees into our chest, into a nice hug, and maybe rock back and forth just a little bit to massage the lower back out. Gently coming to a stop. Let's bring the knees together as one unit over to the right. And bringing the left arm out to the side into a half T. Shoulders should be flat against the mat. And if you need to bring your knees down a little bit or up a little bit to feel comfortable, you can go ahead and do that. You may gently place your right hand on the outer left knee. Just try to relax into the twist. You can either look straight ahead at the ceiling, or if you want, you can look to the left. To be honest, sometimes I find looking off to the left can be a little much, so I actually kind of like looking up at the ceiling. I find it more comfortable for my neck. And then bringing knees to center. Then taking the knees as one unit to the left. Oof. Oh. Yep. Relaxing into the pose, bringing the right arm to a half T, gently resting the left hand on the outer right knee, making sure the shoulders are against the mat. Nice and relaxed. Trying to soften into anything that's tense. Letting that tension go. And back to center. Just doing a little time check. You know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to do legs up the wall. I think for a nice letting go class, knees up the wall or legs up the wall is a great idea. So let's bring ourselves over to a wall where you have some space for your body to move. And we're going to bring, you don't need your mat, so you can just leave your mat where it is if it's not near a wall. And just come and bring your hips so that your butt is right up against a baseboard. And from here, we're going to bring our back down and bring our legs up. And bring our legs up the wall. And if your glutes are a little far from the baseboard, then just shimmy yourself closer to the baseboard because you want basically to be in a 90-degree angle. With your body, your torso on the ground, your back on the ground, and your legs up the wall. And this is a lovely pose to end a letting go class. Well, we're going to do Savasana, of course, too. No yoga class is complete without Savasana, but this is a great lead into Savasana. It's a nice, simple inversion, helping to encourage blood flow from your feet back towards your body. But it's a more gentle way to do it than some yoga poses, like a shoulder stand or a headstand, which, although those are great, not necessarily what we want to get into in the context of our time together. So this is, a nice, lovely way to get the benefits of the inversion without falling all over the place. And just relax your back and shoulders into the mat. You may enjoy having your hands out in a T. You may enjoy having your arms in a goalpost position. I personally like one hand on my belly and one hand on my heart, solar plexus area. Whatever feels good to you is great. And just enjoy the feeling of relaxing and releasing and taking this time to care for yourself, because you deserve it. I'm going to check my watch. Oh man, time flies when you're having fun. Spend a little more time here though. We've got a bit more time. Maybe watching the feeling of your belly going up and down as you breathe. Being mindful of the contact of your back against the mat and how that feels and maybe helps to calm your muscles and your nervous system. And then gently, let's wiggle our toes a little bit and walk our feet down the wall. And moving into Savasana. So in Savasana, we should all probably feel pretty chill by now. But in Savasana, we're laying on our back with our legs slightly apart, feet off to the side, shoulder blades slightly tucked to open up a little bit across the chest. Arms slightly away from the side of your body, palms facing up. Tuck your chin just a little bit so the back of your neck is long. And take a moment to just scan your body and see how you feel. Does it feel like maybe some of the tension has been eased from your body from when you started? Is there anywhere that you're still feeling a little bit of tension that maybe after class you could spend a little more time with and see if you can either focus on mentally relaxing and breathing into that spot, or maybe sweet talking a family member to give you a complimentary massage? Nothing wrong with that. That's great too. And maybe just take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for yourself today and taking good care of yourself, your mind, and your body. Let's gently wiggle our fingers and toes. And placing the feet flat on the mat, rolling over to one side. And pushing up into the seat